Hello everyone and welcome. In this video I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on Season 5 Episode 13 of Fear the Walking Dead. As always is the norm in my videos, I won't be holding back on any spoilers, so please do keep that in mind. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin.
Hey, wait a minute, please.
Scott, what's the big idea? I'm trying to record a video here.
What? Can't your old buddy Scotty G come and make you a delicious cup of tea every now and then? There you go, buddy.
Okay. Thanks, I guess.
No problemo. Drink up, buddy, old pal.
Well, that was weird. Anyway, let's start the review again. Finally, the worst storyline, in my opinion, since Fear the Walking Dead aired is over, and that means no more listening to characters whining about oil every episode. Hallelujah! Yep, the conflict between Morgan and Logan's group is now over, and personally, I couldn't be any more happier. And it's hard to explain, but I'm just overcome with this really optimistic feeling now that, free from the shackles of this storyline, Fear the Walking Dead is going to be absolutely astounding in the next 3 episodes. I just think that Chambers and Goldberg are absolute geniuses and they know what they're doing, and I see the last 2 seasons now in a completely new light. I just think that the show is fantastic.
Yes, the drug-infused tea that I gave him is working. That's it, Joshy baby. Sing Fear the Walking Dead's praises for me.
Wait a minute, what am I saying? The show's going to still be terrible. Sorry, I don't know what came over me there. I just felt a bit strange and started talking about how great Fear was. Sorry about that, let's just carry on.
Oh, damn it, I thought I had him then. Oh, gosh darn it.
So this installment begins with a flashback of Logan, and during the flashback itself, he wouldn't seem out of place as part of Morgan's cult because all he's doing is going around helping people, which is basically all our protagonists have done so far this season. Unfortunately though, no matter how hard you try to help everyone, there's always going to be some people you can't save, and during the clip we see Logan failing to get to a lady in time, and that results in her being eaten by walkers and results in him crying on the floor like a baby. Now, by all means, feel free to call me a heartless dick in the comments, but I just found Logan sort of crying on the floor at the death of someone he didn't even know to be a bit bizarre. It kind of reminded me of when Laurie died in The Walking Dead and Rick was a wreck on the floor, and that made sense, but I didn't get why Logan was so upset by this woman's death. And again, maybe that's just because I'm a horrible bastard, but he didn't know her. From the way he acted, I almost got the impression that he hadn't seen anyone die, but surely he must have seen people die. He must have lost someone since the Walker outbreak started. So to see him crying on the floor because one person died, I mean, I don't mean to sound horrible, but come on man, just pull yourself together, get on with it. It's going to happen. You can't save everyone, so yeah, I thought it was a bit of a overreaction really, but maybe that's just me. It's implied that the death of this lady combined with the death of his friend Polar Bear was what caused Logan to give up with his whole help everybody mentality. And at first, I have to admit, I didn't connect these 2 events. I just thought that initially Logan gave up with helping people because of some random woman dying, and I didn't connect the whole Polar Bear scenario to it as well, so that's kind of meant I've had to rewrite a lot of this review because I was more negative than I am going to be now, so apologies if I am a bit all over the place in this video. But anyway, let's just carry on. Looking at the reasons behind why Logan decided to give up helping people in a bit more detail, I believe that he came to the realization that people are just selfish and there's always going to be someone who sort of gets in his way and ruins things for him. Sarah and Wendell stole Polar Bear's rig just because they could, and that resulted in 2 people dying. And I think Logan just came to the conclusion that some people will just take whatever they want because, you know, it's the end of the world. They do whatever they want without thinking of the consequences, and he kind of thought, well, why am I trying to help people when there's people like this around? And I didn't actually mind that explanation, so yeah, I kind of like that more than the initial explanation that I had in my head that he just gave up because he failed to save some random lady. So that's what I think is the explanation for why he stopped helping people. Maybe that's just me trying to pull something positive and connect things that aren't even connected. I don't know, but that's just kind of my theory as to why Logan stopped doing what he was doing. Logan has been a character who I've had a very much love-hate relationship with throughout the season. I thought his introduction in episode 1 was really good, and I thought, oh, he's going to be a fantastic villain. Then he was pushed to the sidelines, we didn't see him again, and then he came back and he was treated as kind of a joke character with Sarah leaving him on the side of the road, and since then he hasn't really done much. He's been a bit of a, I think I described him as a pussy last week or the week before, because he won't shoot anyone, just keeps letting our characters get away with saying, no, we're not going to give you any oil. So yeah, he kind of let me down a bit, but I think he actually had a good episode, all things considered. I liked how when he arrived at the oil refinery, he just called the characters bluff. He knew they weren't going to shoot him. He knew that because of their pacifist ways, they weren't going to harm him, even after John fired a warning shot. Admittedly, it was annoying that our characters tried to reason with him and appeal to him, because of course that's not going to work, but yeah, I still liked how he was portrayed this episode. I did think it was a bit stupid though that Luciana and the rest of her little crew just let him stroll around and do what he wanted without even putting up a fight, but then that just shows how sort of pathetic our protagonists are at the moment. Rick Grimes would have just put a machete in his head if he crossed him, but there you go. As I've said many times in previous videos, it just seems that our protagonists are incapable of killing anymore. Repeat after me. We are all Morgan. We are all Morgan. We are all Morgan. Even though I liked the explanation behind why Logan gave up with his little charity mission, I still didn't actually care for the conflict between his group and Morgan's group. Well, Morgan wasn't in the episode, but you know, our protagonist group, because like I've said countless times, I don't really give a shit who gets the oil, so it just felt, again, kind of pointless. I know that I'm supposed to be rooting for Morgan's group to get the oil so they can carry on going around the country helping people, but this scenario is just so dreadfully boring that I really didn't want to see them get the oil. And as for Logan, I don't even know what he's going to do with the oil. I mean, before he died, he didn't get a chance to explain, and every time someone asked him, he just came back with cryptic replies such as, you won't like what we're going to do, or it's going to help people, but not in the way that you think. And so I don't even know what he wants with the oil, and which means I also can't root for him. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation. Whoever gets it, I don't care, which, again, like I just said, makes the whole plot to this half a season so far just seem like a waste of time. Finally, on the subject of Logan, he dies this episode, which I just mentioned a moment ago, and yeah, just as he sort of realises the error of his ways and gives a speech about how he was wrong and how he can help each other and blah blah blah, he gets shot by a sniper on a horse. Admittedly, I didn't see this coming because, well, who would expect to see some randomers turn up on a horse and shoot him and his entire crew? But you know, even though I'm not going to cry over his death, it still felt a bit weak to me. It really felt to me like the writers wrote themselves into a corner with Logan this episode. Logan was the villain in the background since the start of this season. He was teased since the first episode, and come the end of this episode, he sort of changed his ways and was willing to work with our protagonist. And for a brief moment, kind of story arc to this season was wrapped up. Everyone was friends, there was no threat, and it looked like they were all going to share oil and help people, and there was nowhere really for the story to go. The only direction that they could take the story in was to introduce another big bad, someone worse than Logan, and that's what they did, and they just introduced this new group and killed Logan and all his group. And to me, I found it all to be a bit cheap. It was almost as if the writers sort of said, right, Logan's done, let's press the reset button, kill him off and kill his group off, let's introduce the next villain. And I'm not going to lose any sleep over Logan dying, but I wish there was a way to fit his group in rather than just spending all this time learning about his past and getting to know him and then just killing him off because we can't fit him in with this new group. And yeah, I don't know if I've explained it very well, but it just felt a bit cheap to me to kill them all off. I mean, I know we've still got the guy who Dwight spared, so he might be around somewhere, but I don't really care about him. As for my opinion on this new group, it's very much similar to how I feel about Logan's death in that I'm not really sure at the moment. On one hand, I'm kind of happy that we've got this new group who aren't afraid to kill people and aren't afraid to be actual villains. But on the other hand, their whole, we're going to take what we want or we kill you, it just reminds me too much of the Saviours from The Walking Dead, and yeah, I'm not sure they're going to be all that interesting, but only time will tell. Hopefully they just manage to be better than Logan and Crayon Lady, whatever her name was, I can't remember. Anyway, before I go, there's just a couple of other things that I quickly want to talk about. So firstly, the dialogue was as terrible as always, with the usual cliche nonsense such as, we can't give up on him, coming from characters' mouths, and yeah, it's just bad. Secondly, we finally found out where Lucy and the kids have been since the restart to the Fear the Walking Dead, and they've just been chilling at the oil complex, apparently. I find it kind of odd that Lucy is an expert on how to separate oils. I know absolutely zero about this, but I can't imagine it's an easy process, so how do they know how to do it? I don't know. And thank you to the person who pointed that out to me on Twitter the other day, because for some reason that went over my head, but now I think about it, yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. And still on that subject for a moment, there was an instance when Dwight saw the fires coming from the oil, and he said something along the lines of, "This is getting out of hand," as if he was trying to fit in and say, "Oh, this oil is burning too hot, we need to put the temperature down." And I was like, Dwight, shut up, mate. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know anything about oil, so just stay out of this conversation, please. We also have Alicia painting some more trees, which is a great use of her character. Sarah hid in a fridge in the middle of the road. I can't decide whether that was a genius thing to do or the most stupidest thing on the show. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It was just weird, but it worked. I don't know, maybe because it was so stupid I'm just willing to let it go, but yeah, that was odd. We also have Luciana deciding to stay behind, and she says, "Oh, I'll help them make the oil and you go off and do whatever it is you need to do, blah blah blah." And I guess I'm supposed to feel sad that Luciana has been separated. Oh no, not Lucy, you can't leave her behind, but the truth is I don't care. You know, Luciana has been separated from the most of the group for the entire season so far. She's barely been on the screen. All she did in the first half of the season was hold her arm in the cast, and then this is the first time we've seen her since the restart, so I wouldn't even notice if she didn't reappear, to be honest. And the writers haven't known what to do with her since Nick died, so I don't really give a shit. And finally, I didn't like that Wes turned up to save a lady who was in the exact same truck stop that the woman from Logan's flashback died in, because that was so contrived and too coincidental for me. Oh, she just so happened to be in the exact same place where the woman in Logan's flashback died. You know, the exact same place that we saw at the start of the episode. How convenient. Yeah, that just felt really sort of cliche, and I know I say the word cliche a lot, but it did to me. It just felt really like, oh, are they really doing this? Are they really going to have her in the same place? Oh, it just made me feel a bit, yeah, what's the word? I mean, just feel a bit uncomfortable and a bit like, oh, are they really doing that? Ooh, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. And that's about it, really. I mean, it was okay, I guess. I think the fact that I liked Logan this episode, and he was the focus of most of it, somewhat saved this episode and made it better than some of the other ones this season, but yeah, it was alright. I mean, I can't say I'm looking forward to the rest of the season, and I'm not really that interested in learning about this new group, to be quite honest, but it could have been worse, I suppose. I mean, that's the best I can say at this moment in time. So yeah, let me know your thoughts below. Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Whatever your thoughts, let me know in the comments below. And that's about it. So, oh, apologies, but I think my tummy's rumbling. Can't believe I just said tummy and not like stomach, but maybe that's because I'm a dad and I always say tummy to my daughter. But anyway, that's irrelevant. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.
Evening, Chambliss and Goldberg. It's me, Scotty G. I have some incredible news for you. Yeah, the drug-infused tea that I gave him, it's working wonders. I mean, he said that Fear the Walking Dead was okay. He's never said it's okay. Not in like 2 years, so that's something, right? What do you mean it's not good enough? No, I will get the job done. No, there's no need for that. That won't be necessary, yes. Okay, what I'll do is I'll increase the dosage. Keep increasing it. And pretty soon, all reviews of Fear the Walking Dead on this channel will be super positive. Like my AIDS test. Yeah, probably ignore that last bit, but I have Predatory where I want him. It's all going to plan, boys.